TGIF Warriors, here's your Friday wrap up, and there's going to be a little bit of mentoring in here. And what could add a dimension to your trading is when you look at a chart to ask yourself, where are the stops? Because algos will go for them, just like when I was on the floor. Stops ended up being at least short-term turning points. And the obvious place where people place their stops ends up being one of the major reasons why at times they're right about the market, wrong the trade. So I'm going to talk about stops. I'm starting off with Euro USD. So after the PCE, again, we've tested the 108 level once, twice, three times. So it's my belief, even if we hold today, there's an ISM number that before the euro turns, they're going to liquidate longs under 108. Everyone that has their stops, a pip under this low. And if you just do a quick measurement and you just go to this spike, that would take it down to about 740. This is 860 to 8. That take it down to 740. Now, if you go up to this spike that we had up here, which was 108.85, that would take it down to 107.20, right? 85 from here. And coincidentally, 78.6 is at 107.35. So I still think there's a decline left in here in euro. The big question is when I get to the dollar index here, again, waiting for closes under 103.80 was important because it never got you short the dollar. And now we're knocking on the door here of this 104.20, 25 level. Almost looks like a bit of an ascending triangle. And if you take the spike low from here, call it 340 and 420, that would be 80 pips. That's going to take you back up towards a high, towards 105 as a possibility, which then opens the door for 78.6 back in the Dixie, which would be up here at 105.90. Okay, so 105.90 is 78.6. 61.8 was this 104.97 level. So a breakout over this level, once we get above 105, could trigger a move towards 106. That happens, the grand prize stops are going to be taking out the 107 level, which could then take us down to about 106.20, 105.70. So I guess the message right now is the dollar isn't done. It's not done unless it closes under 103.80. And the path of least resistance is up at this current time. So here's another lesson. So the yen never made new highs here. And a lot of people probably thought they had the top here. And, you know, we look at even this high here was 150.88. And then before yesterday's sell-off, it was 150.84. So you think there's at least one stop above 150.88 that they're going to go for. We're only about 28 pips away. So we'll see. You know, I think it's a layup to take out those stops. Then the next challenge for stops for people that think they have a major top is going to be over 151.90. For right now, I'll see what happens at 151. But again, looking at where the stops are, very significant, very important. Gold up another 8. You know, a lot of people are calling it a breakout. Maybe it is, but silver is definitely lagging. Again, the gold-silver ratio continues to march higher. Looks like this wants new highs when you take out the stops here. So with that going on, you have a little life in the miners yesterday. They had a little bit of a heartbeat. Look at GDX. It's called to come in a little bit higher. I'm still really not convinced on this. I mean, if gold explodes, I hear there have already been military strikes by the U.S. I'm not sure what the targets are. I also read a pretty interesting piece. I forgot the name of the huge fund, but they're saying that the Fed will not lower rates this year. That's going to be a pretty big disappointment, which takes me back to the 10-year, which also held where it had to. Again, just like the 103.80 level in the dollar, the 420 level is very important in yields. And I still think that there's another push higher for a third drive in yields, which means that there's another push lower in TLT. This kind of looks like a flag here, and that we're headed back down towards fib levels. So the takeaway is, looks like a higher dollar, higher yields, lower bonds. 91.39 is halfway back. We didn't quite get there. 61.8 is 89. Not sure if it's going to be that weak, but that's a possibility. With gold being the outlier, and we'll see how gold holds up if I'm right about yields, and especially if the dollar can carry above 105, the prior high. We'll see if gold can handle it. I don't think silver can, and that should take silver down to the 21 level. As far as stocks are concerned, you know, the averages keep acting very good, but you look at something like Apple and pre-market, Apple is breaking down. Okay, so we're right at that weekly support, but let's look at a 4-hour chart. As you can see, we're under that 180 level. I believe Carter Worth on CNBC started talking 160. So he must be watching TradeGATEHub. And I hope that I've added value to what you're trying to accomplish in a very difficult endeavor. When you're in trades, if you watched Jack Schwager, I recommend you watch the interview I did yesterday, that Peter Brandt, one of his styles is to go to break even as soon as possible. And he's had huge longevity in the markets. And the way you have longevity is to reduce the stress of a trade that's going your way by taking partial profits and then moving your stop to break even. So the worst outcome is you make money. So that's my mentoring. Ask yourself when you're looking at charts, where are the stops? People say, Dale, how do you know where the stops are? Well, they're where everyone has them, right? So, you know, stops. Where are the gold stops now? They've gotten most of them. Up here, where's the silver stops? Over 22.80 if you're short, under this week's lows if you're long, and the grand prize being under here. So have a great weekend. The weekends are the best time to do your work to prepare for next week when the markets are closed and you're more objective. Something else Jack said yesterday is know when you're going to get out. And that means both with the risk and with the objective, because when you're designing the trade, you are objective. When you're in the trade, sometimes your emotions can take over and you're not as objective. But that's a wrap. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and your health is your wealth. Have a great weekend. See you in the room. Adios.